everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Reeti and I am back with another lecture of the DBMS series. So in the last lecture, we got to know more about all the steps which are needed to draw or formulate an ER model or ER diagram. Now in this particular video, we would be having a look on the ER model of Instagram. We would be building it from very scratch and I would be explaining all the steps which we learnt in the last video. So without any further delay, let's get started. So before moving forward, I would like you guys to know what Instagram is. So yes, it's a lame question because 99.99% of the people would be knowing about Instagram. But just for the people who are not knowing or just to give you a short revision about it. So Instagram is basically a social media platform where you upload your picture, where you upload images, videos, stories, have friends like followers, then you follow your friends, which is called as following, then you upload your profile picture, then you have some bio, and there are much more things which is there in Instagram. So Instagram is a social media platform that allows user to share photos and videos. Now, what all things are there in Instagram or what all things we can do on Instagram? So the first thing is creating our own profile. So everything starts with creation of a profile. So we create our profile. Then we add a profile picture and some details like your bio, that where you are working right now, or if you are a musician, you can mention that you love playing music or singing, or you love playing guitar, and much more things you can mention. Now the third thing is connection with your friends or connect with your friends. So basically on Instagram, whenever you are done with the profile creation and whenever you have uploaded your picture and some bio about yourself, then you can start connecting with people. You can upload a post, you can like and comment on different posts, share stories, and much more things are there. So why right now I am explaining about this is because I want you guys to have a basic idea about how Instagram functions, what all things we can do on Instagram. On basis of this, we would be formulating an ER diagram. Now, let's start with all the steps which are needed to draw an ER diagram. So the steps which I told you in the last video, we would be going step by step and we would be formulating an ER diagram. So there the step 1 was recognizing all the entities. So here the entities are user profile. So user might be having a profile. I told na ki firstly what happens is ki user create a profile. So there is a user profile which is created. So user profile is the first thing. Now when the user profile is created, he or she will upload the profile picture, add some details about them, and then will start connecting with friends. So the second thing is user friends. So the second entity here is user friend. Now the third entity is we have created a profile, we have connected with our friends. Now we would like to upload some photos or videos. So the third is user post. The fourth entity is user login. So whenever you go to any social networking platform like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, so there you get a login page where you enter your username and user password, and then you are redirected to that particular social media platform where you can see your profile and timeline as well. Now the fifth entity is user likes. So if you upload your post, there might be some people who would be liking your post. If you are connected with some of your friends, you would also be liking their post or commenting on it or sharing it on different social media platforms or sharing it on your story and much more things. So these are the 5 entities. As of now, I have taken these entities into consideration because again, if I increase the number of entities, the ER model diagram would be very complex and it's not impossible to include all the entities, all the attributes in the same model or in the same diagram. So as of now, we are seeing a template which we can follow for a ER model of Instagram. So these 5 entities are right now recognized as the entities which we can use further in the ER model. Now the second thing is specify entity characteristics or attributes. Now we have specified that what all entities are there, like user profile, user friends, user login, user post, user likes. Now we need to identify what are the attributes or what are the characteristics of that particular entity. So first we'll start with user profile. So in user profile, there is a user ID, there is a username, there is an email, and there is a profile pic. Now user ID is serving as a primary key because it can uniquely identify records in a table. The second is username, which is a composite attribute. So composite attribute, what it means, कि username can also be further divided into sub attributes like user first name, user middle name and user last name. Email is a single valued attribute. Profile picture is a single valued attribute. DOB is a stored attribute. Stored attribute again is something which is stored, and derived attribute is something which we derive from the store attribute. So here user ID is the primary key, username is the composite attribute, email is a single valued attribute, profile pic is a single valued attribute, DOB is a stored attribute, and age is a derived attribute. Now coming to entity number 2, that was user friends. Now user friends have these attributes such as follower ID, follower name and user ID. Now you can see user ID, you have seen that user ID in the user profile as well, right? And it is present here as well. So there is some kind of relation which is present between user profile and user friends. So if a primary key of one table is present in another table and referencing it, that is called as foreign key, which we have learned in the last videos. So we would be having a good look on this in the ER model diagram. Right now consider that user ID is right now acting as a foreign key which is referencing to the primary key of the user profile. Now user friends is having a follower ID which is serving a primary key for this particular table. Now follower name, which is a single valued attribute, and user ID, which is also a single valued attribute. Now the third entity is user post. Now user post is having a post ID, a caption about the post, or if you post any image then there would be a caption, image, video, likes count and timestamp, the time at which you have uploaded your picture or the time at which you have posted your picture or videos. So post ID is acting as a primary key for this particular user post table. Caption is a single valued attribute. Image is multi-valued because you have seen that sometimes in one post there are many images. So there could be many images which could exist in single post, so that is why it is a multi-valued attribute. That is, one attribute may have multiple values or multiple things. So video is again a multi-valued attribute. Likes count is a single value attribute, it would be in numbers like 1000, 2000. Timestamp is also a single valued attribute. Now coming to the fourth entity, that is user login. Now user login is having a login ID, login username and login password. Now in this, the login ID is serving as a primary key, the login username is a single valued attribute, and the login password is a multi-valued attribute. So coming to the fifth attribute, this is fifth, is the user likes. So user likes is having a post ID and user ID. So here post ID is serving as a primary key and user ID is a single valued attribute. So now you would be seeing there are some of the attributes which are being repeated in some of the tables, like user ID is also repeated. Post ID is something also which is repeated in the user post and user likes table. So again, there is a repetition of attributes because these attributes are somehow serving as a primary key in one of the table, and in other table to establish the relationship they are serving as a foreign key. So what foreign key does is कि foreign key help us to establish a relationship between two tables. When we go forward in the video, you would be having a more better understanding. So for now, just you can understand from this way कि if you are seeing some repetition of attributes in different tables, so there could be a possibility that one table is having a relationship with different tables. So in that different tables, there is a attribute which is present, which is serving as a primary key in table A, and right now is serving as a foreign key in table B, table C or table D. Now the step 2, discover connections, relationships, also constraints like mapping and participation. Now we have to discover the connections and linking or the relationship between them. As I told, like right now only na ki what happens is ki we use the primary key to establish a relationship between two tables. Now we have also learnt about the relationships, like types of relationships based on cardinality or mapping constraint, that is one to one, one to many, many to many, and many to one. So on the basis of that, we will now establish the relationship between those entities. So the very first step was to identify the entities. The next step was to identify the attributes or the characteristics of all those entities. And the third step is to establish the relationship between the entities, to know the mapping constraints, like how they are mapped with each other, one to one, one to many to many, or many to one. Now here, the first relationship is user profile will have user friends. So n number of profiles can have n number of friends. Now the second one is user profile have user post. That is, one user profile can have n number of posts. So that is 1 to n relationship. That is, user post will always be associated to user profile. Therefore, there is a total participation. I also explained about types of participation. You can have a look on the earlier videos and then you can come and have a look on this particular video. So the third one is user profile has user login. Now one user profile always have one user login. So consider that there are two profiles which is created. One I have created, one my sister has created. Again, my sister would be having different username and different password. I would myself be having different username and different password. So there is a one-to-one mapping. Now the fourth is user profile has user likes. So one user profile can like many posts, like there are many friends of mine, so I'm liking every post uploaded by them. So one user profile can have number of likes, like many number of likes. So user likes will always be associated to a user profile. Therefore, there is a total participation. Now the fifth is user friends have user post. So user friends can also upload some post, right? So user can consider that there are multiple user profiles. User profile 1, user profile 2, user profile 3. User profile 1 and user profile 3 are friends, in like they both are friends. So user profile 1 can also upload many photos. User profile 3 can also upload many photos. So user friends may have user post. That is 1 to n relationship, that one user friend can upload many posts. So it will also be associated to a user profile, therefore total participation. So why this total participation term is coming every time? So what happens now, ki there is a user friend, right? So if there is a user, only then a user friend would be existing. If there is no user, then user friend is associated with whom, right? So user friend is existing only when there is a user which is existing. So therefore there is a total participation. Now user friends has user login. So user friend can also have a user login. Again, it would be in a one-to-one manner, because one user friend can have a one user login. Another user friend would be having another user login. So it is one-to-one fashion. Now seventh one is user friends has user likes. So user friend can also like other photos, can like their own photos, can like other friends' photos as well. So that is 1 to n relationship. And again here user likes will be associated to a user profile, therefore total participation. So again, if there is no user profile which is existing, then user likes doesn't make any sense. So there should be at least one profile which should be existing so that we can count the user likes. Now this is the ER model of Instagram. I know it is a bit complex, but let's understand from the very beginning. I'll make sure that you understand each and everything, and even if you don't, please watch the video again and the steps to design an ER model video as well, because that video is also very important video in terms of understanding. Again, there are terms like total participation, strong entity, weak entity, multi-valued attribute, composite attribute, that wouldn't make any sense if you don't watch the earlier videos. So first watch all the earlier videos and then you can come here and then have a look on the ER model of Instagram. So let's start. So let me just switch it to this one. Okay, so we will start with user profile. Now user profile is an entity. User profile would be having username, user ID, email, profile pic, DOB and age. So here I have mentioned it. So the user profile is having user ID, username, email and profile pic. user ID is serving as a primary key, so we have underlined this. Email is a single valued attribute, profile pic is a single valued attribute, age is a derived attribute, and DOB is a stored attribute. So in this way we represent the stored and derived attribute. And here username is serving as a composite attribute. So when there is a composite attribute, it is an attribute which can be breaked into subparts. So username is now breaked into first name and last name. So this is about the user profile. Now user profile has some relations. So the very first relation is user profile have user post. The second relation is ki user profile has user likes. The third relation is user profile has user login. So first start with user profile has user login. So now user profile has user login. Every user would be having only one login details. So there is a one-to-one relationship. Now user login is having some of the attributes such as login ID and login name. Login ID is here serving as a primary key. Now coming to the second relation, user profile have user post. So user profile have user post. So user profile, one user can have multiple posts, right? So there is a 1-to-n relationship between them. And in the user post here you can see there are some of the attributes such as post ID, image, timestamp, video and caption. Now caption here is working as a single valued attribute. Video here is right now a multi-valued attribute. Why so? Because multi-valued attribute is an attribute which can have multiple values. So there could be multiple videos for a single user, right? So in the timeline you can see for a particular user you can find multiple videos and multiple images. So here video is working as a multi-valued attribute. Image is also serving as a multi-valued attribute. Timestamp is a single valued attribute and post ID is here serving as a primary key. So we have made it underline. Now coming to the third relation user profile has. So user profile have user friends. Now you can see that I have made it two rectangles. Why so? Because here the user friend is a weak entity. So we have read about strong entities and weak entities. Why user friend is a weak entity and why a user profile have user friends is a weak relation? Because if there is no user, there wouldn't be any user friends, right? So it all depends on user. If there is no user, there won't be any user post, there won't be any user likes, there won't be any user logging or something like that. So for now, just to make you or to give you more clarity about weak and strong entities and weak relationship, I've used this here just for an example, right? So when you are asked to draw an ER model in the interviews, you can go ahead with the basic template only. But when they ask you to specify everything like the strong entity, weak entities, total participation, partial participation, then you can go ahead and point out everything that this is a weak entity and you can give an explanation why this is a weak entity. So again, user profile and user friends have a end-to-end or many-to-many relationship because many user profiles can have many friends. Same way, many friends can have many user profiles. So here user friends is having a user ID and follower name. Now you can see user ID which is present here as well and here as well. Here user ID is working as a primary key in user profile table, and here user ID is somehow establishing a relationship between user profile and user friends. So it is acting as a foreign key which is helping to establish relationship between user profile and user friends. Now user profile have user post. This I have explained. So this relationship is explained, this relationship is explained, this one is explained. Now coming to this relationship. So now user profile has user likes. So again, a user profile can like many posts or can have many posts which can be liked by a particular user. So that is one to many relationship. Now user likes is also having one user ID which is serving as a foreign key which is helping to establish relationship between user profile and user ID. And user like is also having a post ID as a primary key. Now again, user post can also have user friends, like user friends can also have user posts. So there is 1-to-n relationship between user friends and user post. User friends can also have a user login. So there is also a 1-to-1 relationship between user friends and user login. And I guess, yeah. So user friend can also have a user likes. So there is also 1 to n relationship, that is one friend can have many likes. So there is 1 to n relationship between them. So this is all about the ER model of Instagram. Again, it is very complex to understand, but right now I have taken very less entities and very less attributes to make you understand it at a very clear picture. If you're asked in an interview to draw or design an ER model of, consider Facebook, consider LinkedIn, or consider Threads, so you can use this particular ER model as a template, but always think about all the important entities which you shouldn't miss, because again there are many entities and you can't take all the entities, all the attributes and draw an ER model. You have to pick some of the few of the entities which are important according to you, few of the attributes, and you have to draw an ER model. Also, do take care to follow all the design patterns. Like if there is a multi-valued attribute, there would be 2 circles. If there is a derived attribute, there would be a dotted circle. If there is a weak relation, then there would be 2 diamonds. If there is a weak entity, then there would be 2 rectangular box. So always make sure to mention all these, because all these things would really help you and the interviewer as well to understand that you have a very great knowledge about ER model and DBMS. So this was all about this video. I hope you like this video. Sorry for the larger length, but again I wanted to complete it in a single video. So till then, take care, keep learning, keep growing, keep smiling. Bye all.